So it goes back 30 years ago when I was 19, and myself and my friend John Carter both decided to enter for a competition that had come up for a mural or artwork for Bray Station. And that was put on by a group in Bray, I think a community group, and they called it the On the Wall competition. So myself and John, over a period of about a month, put together a design and we entered it for the competition.
It was all part of our plan to put in a successful application. We really wanted to win this particular award. We thought to go the historical direction was the best way to really get people interested. So of figurative and of local Bray interest. So in the station, we just thought the best thing to do would be to take a history of the station from. There were X amount of panels, and we just gave each panel a decade. So starting with the beginning, I think it was 1840s, and up until the present day, which was the 1980s. That's how we decided on the subject.
What happened was it went into the competition. It was put to a public vote, and the public voted that our design should be the artwork that was completed. We had the summer then, the ensuing summer, to paint the artwork on the wall in the station, which was a big long 150 metre wall. And we had help from a number of other people as well. We just about managed to do it by the end of the summer. So that was really how it came about.
Yeah, it was quite tricky back then. I recall us having very little to go on. When we came to redesign the mosaic or reinterpret into mosaic, we revisited some of the less successful panels where we just got things slightly wrong. And of course now we have the internet, the advantages there, and the information is incredible. We realised that we could drop people in, some who may or may not have passed through the station, Parnell, Dargan, some from Bray, some with loose connections to Bray. But yeah, we thought we would populate it with actual historical figures.
We had already been, since we had done the mural in the station, doing a lot of mural work and artwork for, interiors, nightclubs and restaurants and things like that. And it seemed like a good idea at that point to make a business out of it. So we started up around 1995-96, a little company called Triskel Design, along with another of our friends called Alan Lambert. And that really was the beginning of making a more commercial stab at doing what we were doing.
Well, I joined the company, oh my goodness, I started working with Jay and John, I think it was about 1999. And the murals were always this little project that was kind of working away in the background. There always seemed to be a patch-up job needed on it every now and then, so it was just something I became familiar with over the years because of that. And of course I was in college as well with Jay and John, and I was very aware of them winning the competition, and I got to see, just over that particular summer, I got to see the paintings happening down on the platform. So it was always something that was on my radar, if you like. I was aware of it. One of the things that I always felt over the years was that when I had seen the murals, it always struck me that they'd make a terrific set of mosaic images. So to make that jump from a mural to a mosaic, it takes a little bit of extra planning. So what we have always done is we've first of all gone back to the original composition, because mosaics really are forever. So when we have all our information correct, what happens is we make a full-size drawing on paper, and there are quite subtle differences between each mural image that we're about to turn into a mosaic. So there's quite a lot of planning to begin with. So when we have all that sort of stuff worked out, what we do then is we cover the drawing with a large sheet of perspex, and that allows us to see the drawing underneath. And then you can work on top of that with your tiles. So cutting the tiles as well, it's quite hard on your hands. Along the way we've kind of developed some tools to make it a bit easier for ourselves. We have a special tile cutter now, and that makes our job a good bit easier than when we started out, because we were just using small hand cutters at the time, and we soon realized after doing one or two that way we had very sore hands at the end of it. So we've kind of had to develop new ways of approaching making the mosaics as we go along.
Well, I think at first people thought it was going to be a temporary thing, and we did it as well. But gradually, I think because people had voted for it themselves, there was a sense of connection or ownership to it.
People are very protective of them. A really good example of this would be that sometimes when the three of us are down there on the platform and we're working away on one of them, you'll often get somebody coming up to you and they'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, I hope you're not going to be taking these away now or changing them," or and they actually get quite concerned about this. And it's nice to be able to explain that what we're actually doing is we're involved in a project which is going to preserve them.
People felt it was their own, really. It was very much a bit of public art.
Over the years that it was there as a painting, people got very attached to it, and because each of the panels in the mural told a little story, I suppose people were always curious about what it represented.
When it came to the idea of how on earth we were going to have this huge project funded, we started to consider, well, we're based in Bray, and we thought about the idea of how we would try and tap into some local funding. So working with another company called Works on Paper, with Dave and Eileen, they helped us to find local businesses and local people who would be interested to have their name over a particular mural that appealed to them. And over the years, that's kind of how we've done it. Slowly and steadily, we've found sponsors for each particular mural.